Good morning. Happy 23rd birthday, Wellspring. Yay! My name is Judy Bethman, and I'm Vice President of the Board of Trustees, and I am part of your November 9th, 2025 Sunday service team. We have a few opportunities, as Shirley Angelov calls them. Early birds meet Sunday morning at 9:30 via Zoom. The link is in the weekly email and on the website. Our speaker for today is our beloved Dr. Edward Burlbaw. 11:16 is Reverend Pamela Ivancha. The 23rd is Reverend Sandy Scott, and on the 30th is Donna Stryker. The Lunch Bunch will meet 11:30 this Wednesday at Ruby Tuesdays. Is it out of order? Oh, yeah, it's not out of order. I'm out of order because I jumped. No, today, November 9th, we're celebrating the 23rd birthday. Following the service, we'll have a light luncheon and cake and conversation. Now, are we doing a lunch bunch? There's the lunch bunch slide. Okay, let's go to the next slide. The Thursday evening group continues to meet at 7 p.m. here in the social hall or on Zoom. Get coordinates from Cleona or Edward. Beginning dowsing workshop Saturday, November 15th from 1:30 to 4:30 here in the social hall with our own Jean Geringer. The suggested fee is $25. Do you have an announcement with that?
We did basic dowsing last month. This month we're going to continue with more on fundamentals and be getting into non-beneficial energies of all kinds, whether they be in ourselves, in our workplace, in our homes, and there you go.
Okay, sounds it's a little more finite. Okay, great. All right. Our November outing is a gratitude dinner at Santorini's restaurant on November 22nd at 5 p.m. You're all invited to attend. Okay. Our prayer team remains ready to serve and support you. You may submit your request via our webpage or give it to Edward. Our prayer team meets virtually on Tuesday afternoons at 4:15 to pray with you. You may consider in your quiet space during that time. We know we are one in spirit, and the energy of prayer knows no limits. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold and release. Let's do that again. In, hold, and release. As we release all the cares and worries and concerns of the past week, we know we are one in spirit, and we invite spirit to be a part of this beloved gathering today, and for those who will virtually join us sometime in the future. We know and we affirm that we have greatness and God light in us, and so it is. Okay, please stand if you are able and sing our song of joy. Use me,
sun. God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light, and God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
You are in fine voice this morning, people. Thank you. All right. Let us now read our vision, mission, and affirmation statement. Our vision: to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission: to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, and loving fellowship and service. Our affirmation: my heart overflows with gratitude for the abundant blessings in my life. I see Spirit's love in all things and affirm the good that is always present. With appreciation, I give and receive freely, knowing that I am part of an infinite cycle of abundance. And so it is. And now we have special music from Jeff G.
Ah, that'll be great. All right, hope you enjoy. There's a song called Already. In the perfect mind of the universe, I have perfect love. Perfect love, perfect love, I have perfect love. Mm, ah, I'm already there. In the perfect mind of the universe, I have perfect joy. Perfect joy, perfect joy, I have perfect joy. In the perfect mind of the universe, I have perfect peace. Perfect peace, perfect peace, I have perfect peace. Ah, I'm already there. Ah, I'm already there. In the perfect mind of the universe, I have all I need. All I need, all I need, I have all I need. Ah, I'm already there. Ah, I'm already there.
Thank you, Jeff. We need to be reminded of that. We really do. Well, Edward's topic for today is about reincarnation. And so I had to find a reading about reincarnation. Well, let me tell you, all the readings I found were like pages and pages long, which is not, he's doing the pages and pages. I'm supposed to give you the tidbits, right? So had this book in my shelf, The Memories of the Afterlife, Life Between Lives, Stories of Personal Transformation by Michael Newton. Okay. All right. And I'm reading just in the introduction, which says, early in the 4th century AD, the Greek philosopher Amblicios wrote, "A man who can unlock his soul is set free. As a result of the forces of reincarnation, we are all products of our past physical lives on earth, as well as our spiritual soul experiences between lives. The soul of every person on this planet retains all former karmic influences of cause and effect from many sources, and these sources force impact on our current feelings and behavior. Thus, while people may appear to be functioning normal on the outside, we can have deep-seated metaphysical provocations of distress that are masked from traditional medical doctors, mental health professionals, and even from ourselves. There are difficult episodes in our current lives. We don't comprehend what is driving us in ways that seem irrational. The underlying reasons for these strange sensations are typically obscure, lying far below the surface of our consciousness. Most people will do anything to expose their internal demons, but where should they look? And then AI helped me by being very generic and saying, in the vast tapestry of spiritual teaching and esoteric philosophies, the concept of incarnation holds a central place. It is often described as the soul's journey through various lifetimes, embodying different forms to facilitate learning, growth, and ultimately evolution. Understanding incarnation not only sheds light on the nature of existence, but also offers a profound framework for spiritual development and self-realization. This explores the role of incarnation in soul evolution and spiritual growth. examining its significance, mechanisms, and impact on our journey toward higher consciousness. And I'll let Dr. Edward further develop that. Let's bring forward Dr. Edward Burlbaw.
I get it. Thank you. It'll work. Well, thank you, Judy, for that introduction and prelude to today's talk. Let me just say, today's a special day at Wellspring. And we celebrate each second Sunday in November, we celebrate the founding of Wellspring, which is now 23 years ago. Yes. 23 years ago, Sam and Nancy birthed Wellspring, along with some of you who are here today. And some of us were not in that original group, but came later. But those who participated in the birth of Wellspring saw at least part of Sam and Nancy's vision. Those of us who joined later found ourselves attracted to something, perhaps indescribable, but we just knew that what we'd found we wanted to continue to be around. So over the years, more came to Wellspring and many left, and the reasons for their comings and goings varied, and sometimes even they couldn't put a finger on the reason. So 10 years ago, Sam and Nancy retired, and he and Nancy didn't come around much after that. Occasionally, they would participate in special events, and a little more so, I'd say, until COVID. And that spring, of course, Nancy made her transition, and a year or so later, Sam did as well. Sam and Nancy will never be forgotten. However, Wellspring has been on its own for the last 10 years. That's not to say we haven't had some strong community members who continue to support Wellspring through the thick and thin. And we had a couple of attempts at ministers. But, Wellspring is ministerless, but not truly so. Let's just put it that way. We have elected not to have a full-time minister. We have a spiritual leadership team consisting of myself and Kamatara and Peggy Shin. Anyway, through all this, the support from you all, members of Wellspring has continued to support all of its members and the broader community. So it's said that Wellspring is a welling up or a spring of love, peace, and joy. And it's always sought to be a no judgment zone or a judgment-free zone. If you recall, we used to have a pen up here from Planet Fitness. It's a judgment-free zone. But anyway, it's now been forgotten, yeah. So the Wellspring community is a loving community, and as many of you remember, they were greeted with a hug when they came through the door. Perhaps there's a little less hugging since COVID, but the love and the care hasn't diminished. The vibrations of love, peace, and joy remain palpable upon entering the property. And while some of these characteristics I speak about are more or less visible, there is an energetic phenomena occurring as well. So science is now validating what used to be called in the 70s the vibes, right? Right? It's dating some of us. But experiments have shown the impact of one person's feelings on another. They're beginning to use similar technology. They're beginning to use similar terminology to what used to be, or what is used to discuss entangled photons or entanglement. Big word, of course, but entanglement can refer to being deeply involved in a messy or complex situation, but in the scientific phenomenology, it is used to describe the quantum mechanical effects of particles being linked to one another. So in physics, it's a connection where measuring one particle instantaneously influences the state of the other, regardless of distance. And Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, right? Now, there are ongoing studies on how our DNA can act as mini antennas or receivers by picking up external signals, which are ultimately transmitted and translated into our cellular response. The DNA receivers respond to the frequencies of speech, both ours and others. Now, it's said that we're actually living in something which is called a quantum environment. It's all around us, and everything in that environment affects our DNA and us. You know, I think there's an expression we use, God is in us and we are in God, or something like that. Well, yeah, we are in this quantum environment and it is in us. So let's name a few things that are in our quantum environment. And whether we realize it or not, they're here. So let's start with a biggie. Here's a vibration in our quantum environment. Fear. So think back to about 5 years ago. What happened then? COVID, right? Oh my gosh. Don't go outside. Wear a mask at all times, even in your house and in your car, and when you're walking and nobody's around you. Because, don't touch others. Maybe do that elbow tap thing. You remember that? Yeah? So you can probably think of a few other admonishments as well. Fear. What about the news? Nothing about fear there, right? Let's see. Yeah, right. We're just contributing to this quantum environment, this fear. There's another thing in the quantum environment. Hatred. Seen any of that in the quantum environment? You just have to turn on the news and you're going to see that. Even to the extent that it's now acceptable to kill another if we disagree with them. That's pretty difficult for me to get my mind about. I say, how have we come so far off the rails that that's okay? So perhaps something else in our environment, the quantum environment, more subtle, is familial or ancestral programming. We already know our DNA is inherited from our parents, but our outlook on life is as well. Many of us have spent a great deal of time and effort to overcome our early programming. You've heard people say, I got married to get away from my mother or my father, right? And then I discovered my spouse was exactly like them. Maybe a little impact from your quantum environment, your familial or ancestral environment. And we're also influenced or burdened by our social and cultural environment. And not to mention what Judy brought up, perhaps past lives, so on and so forth. And more subtly then is what some people call race consciousness or the collective consciousness, which has its own energy. This is this quantum environment that is all around us that we're part of. So here's one I'll throw out. I think this is in our quantum environment. Any of the concepts associated with age or aging? So just for a little test of it, would you believe it if someone told you that you could live a full and healthy life well into your hundreds? Yeah, I don't know. My mother this, my father that, my uncle this, Or my mother lived to in her 90s, or my father lived till he was 108. But we don't hear as much of that as we hear of the other that, no, gosh, just about everyone in this room is over the hill, right? Erase, erase, erase. Yeah, what hill? So I've kind of focused on the negative parts of the environment, but there's also a brighter side to it. You knew I wouldn't leave that out. So I want to turn back to what I'll call the topic for the day, which is why are you here? What's our purpose in life? Last Thursday, we started discussing this after our Thursday video, which automatically segued into our aptitudes, and we started talking about aptitude tests. Some of us took those aptitude tests in high school, and some of us didn't. This was supposed to help us choose our career path, right? As I look around, I think that most of us are probably well into our careers, or maybe past our secular career at this point. It might be called retirement, I don't know. And some who have taken the test, as we were discussing this, we're looking at how those aptitudes had been incorporated into what they actually did for their career, even though it wasn't exactly what the test recommended. So maybe an aptitude for the medical field was expressed as an occupation in healing, but not as an MD. I doubt that in those days healer was one of the choices on your aptitude test, right? So now we might be looking back and wondering if we chose rightly or should we have taken a different path. So at this point in our life, it's probably a little late for regrets. Whatever path we took, we did. But anyway, we're here now at the end of that long and winding road that led us to right now. So if you recall Reverend Bonnie speaking, she said, our purpose here is to give God a good time. There could be some truth to that, right? As many times we look back on our life and we find our situations were actually quite funny. Not so at the time, perhaps. So some believe that the purpose of life is to learn, grow, and evolve spiritually. Right? Spiritual evolution or awakening is about the awakening to the big S, the self, as Reverend Sandy tends to speak of, the big S and the little s. And we are the little s, our little s is nestled in the big S. That means nothing more than awakening to the source of all consciousness. The awareness that is all pure perception, so on. And the source is not an isolated individual person. It is the awareness that is behind the individual, shining through them. It is the root source of all the consciousness in the universe. It's beginning to sound a little bit like the quantum environment. Yeah. When we spiritually awaken, we realize who we really are as a piece and a part of that source. We see that we're not a person who is conscious. We are an awareness that thinks it's a person. We are spiritual beings having a human experience and not the otherwise. And then we realize around that time or through that course that the universe is one conscious living entity. So looking only at this part of the picture, you might be tempted to see the small s, or small self, as simply something that gets in the way of the truth. If we do that, we forget something very crucial. The small s, the small self, is what did all the spiritual work that led us to realization in the first place. All the practice, all the study, all the therapy, all the everything had to be someone before they realized that they are this magnificent spiritual being. So that may be true, but it isn't the only reason we're here, in my opinion. We know that it's impossible to change another person's behavior or thinking, right? Reverend Kamatara has used the expression that she could manipulate a situation, or she would try, or someone, right? Sorry, we can't even do that. We can try, and what we get for it is the gift of frustration. So good luck with that. But what we can do is change the quantum environment. In an improved quantum environment that someone may find themselves in, things could possibly look different and the choices be clearer. Right? Kind of call it holding the high watch for folks. So as we all know, and we sometimes resist it, there's only one place to start, and that is with ourselves. I know you were hoping I had a magic wand, right? But after all, it's only about me. Our Thursday night speaker brought up a concept. It was called core stability. What does that mean? Well, paraphrasing it, of course, he didn't say this, but when all around you are losing their mind, don't lose yours. Be that calm, loving presence in the direst circumstances. It's not always easy, but there are activities we can do to make it easier. Consistent spiritual exercise builds a strong core that provides stability and resilience against life's challenges. That exercise consists of us cultivating practices like daily prayer and spiritual study, engaging in fellowship and service with others, and practicing self-reflection and mindfulness. This consistent spiritual exercise creates a strong core. You've heard this before, but this is part of it. Make gratitude part of your attitude. And as one of singers that I really enjoy, Jason Mraz, says, look for the good in everything. He's got a song with that title, but we know that from elsewhere. Use the power of the pause. Stop for a moment. Take a few deep breaths. Sometimes we are trying so hard for inspiration that we don't realize it is always there. Perhaps behind us, and we just need to do is pause a moment and let that inspiration catch up with us. Engage in contemplation every day. You know, many folks say they can't meditate, or they're afraid they might be meditating wrong, or what have you. Forget about meditation, if you will. Just spend a few minutes in contemplation every day. Change your thinking, or change what you're thinking about, in many cases. So rather than getting all wrapped up in all those other things, Focus on what you can control. In times of uncertainty, maybe kind of like now, direct your energy towards what you can influence rather than external factors beyond your control. Embrace challenges as growth opportunities. View these difficulties as opportunities to build spiritual muscle and develop perseverance and character. So when you're faced with someone else's difficulties, you know that it is not yours to do. It is only yours to what? Improve the quantum environment around them, right? Hold the high watch, as we call it. Be open to learning. Be willing to let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you and embrace growth and new perspectives. We were just talking about this in Early Birds this morning. We've been reading a book from a number of folks. Everyone is giving their perspective on God or spirituality or growth, and we sort of went through the book and we go, well, this one we didn't like that author much, no, that one we resonate with, it feels real good, and he's sort of, that's what we do in our life. So we're about to finish the book, and it was suggested we need to start thinking about what our next book is going to be. And so the discussion became, well, do we pick something that we're all very familiar with, that we all resonate with, or do we pick something that might be a little jarring and cause us to think beyond what it is we normally think? We read a book some time ago. It's called Your Soul's Plan, which was exactly that. What was addressed in that book was folks who had been through some serious situations in their lives. One person had been blown up by an envelope bomb or package bomb. Another person, his son had died from a drug overdose. Another person had jumped into a pool and broke their neck and became a quadriplegic later in life. And every one of these was investigated from a sense of curiosity in what was going on. And they did some work in which they actually brought in some spiritual guidance, examining why this person chose this situation, what it was they wanted to learn, and how they had planned this incarnation to incorporate that. Well, that was not one that was particularly just comfortable or thought of by everybody. But yet it was very eye-opening. So you might even, in addition to embracing growth and new perspectives, you might seek out, leave yourself open to those opportunities. Again, as you grow that core stability, you're better able to operate in our environment, and you're having a positive impact on the quantum environment. You're helping those around you. And it doesn't end there, right? This quantum environment means it's everywhere. So it's not only me, it's this group, it's the larger community, our spiritual community in Las Cruces, all of Las Cruces, all of New Mexico, all of the United States, all of the world is in the quantum environment. So if I had to say, why are you here? It's to improve the quantum environment. All that other stuff is just the manner in which you got to the point of realizing you wanted to improve the quantum environment. And the tools that you developed, what you learned so that you could be this positive spirit for growth. So if you say, why did I come here? Well, It was to be a calm, stabilizing influence in what appears to be a very chaotic world. And you can be that wellspring of love, joy, and peace. And so it is. Yes. So let's just take a moment. We take that pause. That breath, and we allow ourselves to acknowledge that we are part of the quantum environment. Knowing that we have a purpose. We are here. We are collected together. We are attracted to those like-minded individuals whose work and purpose is the same as ours. Through our growth and our experiences, to improve the environment of this world and of the universe. And we know that that environment, that quantum environment, some might call it God, is all there is. And we are part of that. We have all the creative abilities of the oneness. So as we sit in this place of feeling that light and the love in this room and in ourselves, we know there are friends and families who are experiencing something which may not look like love, peace, and joy right now. We know that we are living in an abundant universe, and we have plenty of love, peace, and joy to share with those. So if you choose to yourself just acknowledge those folks that could use a little more realization of their own magnificence, and that what is occurring to them right now is all part of their plan. It is all resolving into love. So we just know that this is how the universe works. The universe influences us, and we influence the universe. So we set ourselves to be that positive influence. So we give great thanks for that knowingness. We know also that there's nothing left for us to do but to be. And so it is. So now we have some more wonderful music from Jeff. Let's get this somewhere.
Oh, wow, that was a great speech. I'm still reeling in it. That was excellent. Wow. This is a song about my earliest memory. I remember the earliest memory I have was I was waking up, sleeping on the carpet. I was just rolling around with my toys, and I could see the sun coming in the window, and my mom was in the kitchen on her beige phone in the 1970s. So hope you enjoyed. This is called God is the Morning Sun. God is the morning sun. God is the stars at night. God lives in everyone. We're open to the light. We live and breathe in love. 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 God is a gentle rain. God is the healing wind. A power that can't be changed. A love that will never end. See, we live and breathe in love. 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 We live and breathe in love.
Thank you, Jeff. Got the DNA and cells moving there. Holy buckets. Yay. Okay. Wellspring is a tithing community, and our third quarter tithes were $1,000. We distributed 500 to Showers of Grace, a Las Cruces Center for Women in Need of Baby Items, and to Paws and Stripes, a nonprofit Albuquerque organization setting up shelter dogs with veterans diagnosed with PTSD and or TBI. I don't know what TBI is. Oh, okay. To become service dogs at no cost to the veterans. So at this time, we would like to take our offering to help put our gifts into the cosmos. Thank you all. Thank you, Jim. We acknowledge and receive our virtual and in-person gifts. We give great thanks for the offerings already given and those who will be receiving, because we know that giving and receiving are both part of the one flow. We affirm that we are also part of that flow. We bless these gifts and know that they are multiplied throughout our community and the cosmos. And so it is. Okay, we have a number of people to thank who have contributed to the production of this service, and we are grateful for this service. Jeff, Edward, Jim, Cleona, thank you, and Judy. And thank you for joining us today in the land of Zoom, and those who will be joining us online in the future. And for those in-house here, please celebrate with us at the social hall for our birthday celebration. Please stand if you are able and read the benediction with me, and followed by our congregational song. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world, and so it is.